We evangelical and fundamental Christians are fed up with what Trump is doing. We knew that when we had him in the office that he was a liar and a deceiver, but there was a hope that maybe because he was pro-life, or at least on the side of pro-life, that maybe we could trust him to grow into being the POTUS he should be, but that's just not the way it goes. And now we see it and we're disgusted with who and what he is. He has deceived us, and we need to call him on it. You know, in Proverbs 11:1, it says, "The Lord detests dishonesty, but favors those who are accurate or honest." He's been dishonest all along about all this info about Russia. He gives us different stories all the time that contradict each other. He makes up distracting stories so that we all get derailed, as opposed to staying on task with what it means to take care of this. And this really shouldn't surprise us very much, because look what he did to the students that applied to Trump University. He stole $140 million from well-meaning mothers and fathers and students that just wanted to get ahead. He was dishonest about his sexual relationships, molesting women, being very disrespectful for them on multiple occasions, and raping his wife at one point in time. These are just not acceptable, and we needed to see it and vote against him. We never should have had a man to follow that had these type of qualities. Do you know that when he would hire general contractors to take care of different buildings that he would either service or build, he eventually wouldn't pay them back? They'd put all this investment into employing people, into materials, and then he'd say, "I'm not going to pay you. Instead, I'm going to sue you." And those companies went bankrupt, or they had to shut down because Trump would not pay them back. And to his own fellow billionaires, he's known as nothing more than a con. And now he's conning us, the United States. And we get it now, we understand it, and we are disgusted. Proverbs 10:9 says that people with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will slip and fall. And now we as evangelical and fundamental Christians are very clear that we do not want to continue to follow someone who walks on a crooked path, because we don't want to slip and fall. We don't want the United States to slip and fall. We don't want people to lie to us, and every day on that Twitter, he lies about information that's so easy to fact check. And he thinks that we're fools, or he thinks that we're uneducated, or he thinks that he can just say things in a certain way, and we're just going to fall all over what he says as if it's true, instead of us being smart enough to fact check what he's saying. Proverbs 25:18 says that telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an axe, or wounding them with a sword, or shooting them with a sharp arrow. And we see him doing this to other people or to situations, and trying to put the blinders on us. And we as fundamental evangelical Christians are done with this. In addition, Philippians 2:3-4 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above ourselves, not looking to our own interests, but each of us to the interests of others." Apostle Paul was looking out for others and wants us to look out for others. That's a Christian way of doing it. But instead, Trump is only looking out for himself and his billions of dollars. And that's why he's stepping all over our environment. He's pro-polluting our air and pro-polluting our water, pro-killing animals and plants, and he doesn't care about human health and well-being. And that's why he's investing in oil fields and coals and fracking that poison our resources. We recognize as fundamental and evangelical Christians that we now live in an era where there's modern technology out there that can clean up this planet, that the impact of humans and our use of energy no longer has to be destructive. We've advanced to the level where we can have clean energy sources. But Trump's money is invested in these poisonous, toxic forms of energy. And because his money's there, he wants to make the billions instead of taking care of our planet and taking care of us and our children. But it goes beyond that, because he's hired someone for our educational system that has no knowledge about education. He's tromped all over the healthcare system, and he almost destroyed it so that 30 million people, citizens, our fellow citizens, and ourselves could have been really, really damaged. And now he's claiming that he's even going to destroy it more if he can't get his way. He's not looking out for us. He's looking out for his own ego. In addition, the internet privacy that really is very important to all of our children, to all of our future, is now being yanked away from us because Trump wants his businesses to be able to make money off of our internet footprints. Does that take care of us? No, it takes care of the big dollar corporations that will now infiltrate into our own private lives. In addition, he doesn't want us to live in peaceful communities where we grow in our profound ability to coexist as humans, to be humane to one another. In Matthew 25:37-40, when he spoke to a myriad of people, his disciples said, "What do you mean? How are we to reach out to each other?" And his reply is that truly, look around you. Whenever you do any goodness, feeding the poor, taking care of the widows, taking care of the ill, when someone's hungry, you feed them. When someone's sick, you try to help them. When someone's in need of a job, you try to give them a job. Anytime you do this to any of us, the least among us, you're doing it to God. This is a gift of God to be generous and good to everybody, looking out for each other. And at that time in Matthew, he was talking to a horde of individuals who came from different racial backgrounds, different color skins, different religious preferences, different economic circumstances, different educational circumstances, different beliefs and processes in the world. He was talking to diversity, and he said the least among us, anybody, the least among us, which is kind of a strange way of looking at it, we are to take care of. And that's what we are as Christians, to learn how to live humanely in our diversity, not this divisiveness. And we know that Trump, if he divides us, he wants to conquer us. Why? So he can have the power to make the money he wants to make, not because he's looking out for us. We fundamental Christians and evangelical Christians are fed up. We're not standing for a leader nor following a leader who shows these type of qualities, when we know that the more powerful qualities are honesty, integrity, truthfulness, not having self-ambition or vain conceit, but the ability to look out for other people's interests before his own. That's the type of leader that we want. And Trump is not that leader.